Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Express News. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with the top story. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of multiple developmental projects worth over $6.74 billion in the South Indian city of Adilabad in Telangana. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister reiterated the mantra of nation's development through the development of the states. He said that with a better economy, trust in the country grows and states also benefit from that as they get investment. PM Modi spoke on Government of India's welfare schemes for the tribal people. He said that development means the development of the poorest of the poor, tribals, backwards and deprived. Prime Minister Modi also said that more than 25 crore people have risen out of poverty and credited the government welfare schemes for the poor. A 7-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court of India has ruled that an MP or MLA cannot claim immunity from prosecution on a charge of bribery in connection with a vote or speech in the Parliament or Legislative Assembly. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has praised the Supreme Court verdict in the JMM bribery case, calling it a great judgment. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Monday launched acing development of innovative technologies with IDEX or Aditi scheme to promote innovations in critical and strategic defence technologies at DefConnect 2024 in New Delhi. Under the scheme, startups are eligible to receive grant in aid of up to Rs 25 crore for their research, development and innovation endeavours in defence technology. The event also witnessed the launch of the 11th edition of Defence India Startup Challenge, heralding a new chapter in the collaboration between the defence establishment and the startup ecosystem. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman inaugurated one-day National Conference of Enforcement Chiefs of State and Central GST formations in New Delhi. The conference also focuses on balancing ease of doing business and striking a crucial equilibrium between facilitating a smooth business environment and implementing effective and deterrent enforcement measures. The Indian Navy will commission the newly inducted MH-60R Seahawk multi-role helicopter on Wednesday at INS Garud in Kochi. It will be commissioned in the Indian Navy as INAS 334. The 5th edition of joint military exercise Dharma Guardian between the Indian Army and the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force is underway at Mahajan Field Firing Ranges in Rajasthan. India's Steel and Civil Aviation Jyotiraditya Scindia virtually inaugurated India's first green hydrogen plant in stainless steel sector located in Hisar. Union Minister highlighted India's commitment to a green and sustainable future. India's Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya inaugurated the Ayush ICMR Advanced Centre for Integrative Health Research at 4 AIIMS institutions across India. These centres are located in Delhi, Jodhpur, Nagpur and Rishikesh. Over 65,000 pilgrims visited their recently opened Babs Hindu Temple in Abu Dhabi as it opened its doors to public on Sunday. Visitors who visited the temple heaped praise on the BAPS volunteers and temple staff for this suitable arrangement. Delhi High Court dismissed TMC leader Mahua Moitra's application seeking direction to restrain BJP MP Nishikant Dubey and Advocate Jay Anand Dehadrai from making, posting, publishing, uploading, distributing any content in cached for query case. Police have arrested 2 accused involved in connection with the murder of Nafez Singh Rathi, Haryana President of Indian National Lok Dal Party. 2 shooters were arrested from Goa. Global rating agency Moody's on Monday raised India's GDP growth projection for 2024 from 6.1% to 6.8%. Moody's has attributed this strong growth to the government's capital spending and vigorous manufacturing activity in 2023. The Indian markets ended in green on Monday. Sensex climbed 66.14 points to settle at all-time high of 73,872.29. Nifty rose 27.20 points to hit record 22,405.60. Indian rupee rises 2 paise to settle at 82.89 against the US dollar. Gold future maturing on 5th April stood at 63,530 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on 5th March stood at 68,874 rupees per kg on the MCX. OPEC Plus members led by Saudi Arabia and Russia on Sunday agreed to extend voluntary oil output cuts of 2.2 million barrels per day into the second quarter. Saudi Arabia has announced that it would extend a voluntary cut of 1 million barrels per day through the end of June, while Russia cut oil production and exports by an extra 471,000 BPD in the second quarter. Japan's benchmark Nikkei stock average breached the 40,000 point level for the first time and touched a new record high on Monday. US congressional negotiators on Sunday unveiled a package of 6 government funding bills ahead of a shutdown deadline at the end of the week. The legislation sets a discretionary spending level of $1.66 trillion for fiscal 2024. British Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt said there had been a deterioration in the economic forecast that will underpin this week's annual budget statement, and he played down speculation over big pre-election tax cuts. The United States National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for Nevada, northwestern Arizona and California's Death Valley on Sunday, with winds expected to reach up to 56 kilometers per hour. Strong winds swept through parts of the U.S., causing dozens of tumbleweeds to roll across a desert road in Palm, Nevada. Ecuador's La Cumbre volcano, dormant since its last eruption in 2020, began erupting again on Sunday. Satellite systems operated by the Environment Ministry detected gas emissions and thermal anomalies due to the eruption. With floods causing devastation in northern Bolivia, the country's armed forces mobilized to provide aid. Officials used canoes to reach flood-isolated areas and distributed food, water and medical supplies to flood victims. India's western Himalayan region experienced heavy rainfall or snowfall until Sunday, affecting the plains across Delhi and National Capital Region. The cool winds and rain have led to improved air quality, with Delhi's AQI recorded at 126 on Monday. The India Met Department has forecasted cloudy weather in the national capital for the next 2 days. The residents in Argentina were spotted paddling a canoe along a street following a downpour that triggered flash floods in the northern city of Corrientes on Sunday. Cars were left partially submerged and local businesses were damaged by flood water in Argentina's Corrientes. The city received about 12 inches of rain in just a few hours. California's Sierra Nevada mountains were covered in heavy snowfall over the weekend, leading forecasters to issue avalanche warnings. As a result, the Interstate 80 highway into Nevada was closed. The Mekong River, home to rare species in Asia, is experiencing significant decline, with almost 1/5 of its fish facing extinction due to drastic depletion. Following his re-election as Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif took the oath of office for his second term on Monday. Shehbaz was selected as the consensus candidate of the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and the Pakistan People's Party, receiving 201 votes in the 336-member parliament. The Israeli Defense Forces reported that 277 trucks carrying humanitarian aid entered Gaza on Monday, marking the highest number of trucks transferred in a single day since the conflict began. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan plans to discuss Turkey's efforts to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas during talks scheduled for this week in Ankara. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to meet with a member of Israel's war cabinet in Washington on Monday to discuss strategies for delivering humanitarian aid to Gaza. U.S. Ambassador Amos Hochstein is set to travel to Beirut on Monday to continue diplomatic discussions aimed at reducing tensions and achieving stability in the region. Washington has asserted that a ceasefire agreement in the West Asia conflict is imminent and is expected to be implemented before the beginning of Ramadan. U.S. presidential candidate Nikki Haley secured a victory in the Washington, D.C. Republican primary on Sunday, marking her first win in the nomination process and a symbolic achievement for the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Greece's defense minister expressed hope for its country to assume a more central role in ensuring security of European Union bloc, suggesting that cooperation with NATO and other allies could facilitate the goal. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stressed the need for political determination to ensure Ukraine's access to necessary military supplies to fight Russia, warning of potential historical disgrace if the world fails to act. Rescue operations concluded after a drone struck an apartment building in the Ukrainian city of Odessa, resulting in the discovery of 4 additional bodies and raising the death toll to 12. Following the release of a purported call recording involving German military officials discussing potential strikes on Russian territory, the Kremlin questioned German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's control over the situation. German officers were overheard in the alleged call discussing weapons for Ukraine and the possibility of a Kiev-led strike on a bridge in Crimea, prompting calls for clarification from the officials. In Nepal, the ruling coalition between the Communist Party of Nepal and Nepali Congress collapsed, leading to the formation of a new government alliance under Prime Minister Pushpa Kumar Dahal. The shooting at a residence in California on Sunday resulted in the deaths of 4 people and multiple injuries, with 3 victims transported to a hospital for treatment. French lawmakers are preparing for a final vote on incorporating abortion rights into the country's constitution on Monday. If the proposition secures a 3/5 majority in the special Congress, France will become the first nation to enshrine abortion rights in its constitution. Polish farmers staged a blockade of all 6 border crossings to Ukraine on Sunday in protest against cheap Ukrainian imports that threatened their livelihoods following months of demonstrations. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban is scheduled to meet former U.S. President Donald Trump on 8th March in Florida, amidst Orban's endorsement of Trump's potential return to the U.S. presidency this year. The Australian government is hosting a 3-day special ASEAN summit in Melbourne starting Monday, commemorating the 50th anniversary of Australia's status as the association's first dialogue partner. The summit presents an opportunity to strengthen partnerships through events focusing on business, emerging leaders, climate and clean energy, and maritime cooperation. South Korea and the United States commenced their annual spring military drills on Monday with a focus on deterring any potential use of nuclear weapons by North Korea. The South Korean government initiated legal proceedings on Monday to suspend the medical licenses of thousands of striking junior doctors whose actions have severely impacted hospital operations. Nearly 9,000 medical interns and residents have been on strike for 2 weeks to protest a government initiative to significantly increase the number of medical school admissions. Malaysia has expressed willingness to reopen an investigation into the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines MH370 in 2014 if compelling new evidence emerges. Haiti's government declared a state of emergency on Sunday following violent clashes in the capital that led to 2 prison breaks. Major protests erupted in front of the Prime Minister's office in Tunisia against deteriorating in living conditions and economic decline. The Tunisian General Labour Union organized protests against the socio-economic crisis following the arrest of activists, businessmen and journalists since President Kais Saied assumed most powers in 2021. Thailand Supreme Court acquitted self-exiled former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra of negligence on Monday, clearing her of charges dating back to her time in office in 2013. The court in Bangladesh granted bail to Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus in a $2.3 million embezzlement case. Yunus was sentenced to 6 months in prison in January for violating labor laws. Security measures have been heightened in various key areas of Beijing ahead of the annual gathering of China's parliament, which commences on Tuesday. An Indian delegation presented a copy of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita to the Parliament of Sri Lanka as part of the International Gita Mahotsav on Monday. The Northeast India Film Festival commenced at the Manipur State Film Development Society in Imphal on Sunday, featuring 8 films and concluding on 7th March. A snow martial arts training camp was organized by a sports academy in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir's Budgam district. Jaipur, known as the Pink City of India, hosted an exhibition of roses at the City Park in Mansarovar, featuring around 400 varieties of flowers, with 366 varieties dedicated to roses. Over 65,000 pilgrims visited the recently opened Babs Hindu Mandir in Abu Dhabi on its opening day to pay their respects. Despite heavy snowfall, doctors in Jammu and Kashmir traversed various lanes to provide door-to-door polio vaccination services to children. A team of experts in South China's Hainan province made significant strides in the artificial breeding of stony corals. Romanians are observing the tradition of Barbelia until 8th March, where people select a day starting on the first day of spring, with the weather on their chosen day believed to forecast their nature for the rest of the year. Norway's King Harald returned to Oslo after being discharged from a Malaysian hospital and flown home on a medical evacuation plane following treatment of an infection and the temporary installation of a pacemaker. As pre-wedding ceremonies of Anant Ambani, son of Indian billionaire Mukesh Ambani, came to an end, Microsoft CEO Bill Gates, Ivanka Trump, Mark Zuckerberg and other prominent personalities from India and abroad left the country on Sunday. The trailer of Ae Watan Mere Watan, starting Sara Ali Khan in the lead role, was unveiled on Monday. Prime Video, the streaming platform, shared the nearly 3-minute-long video on its YouTube channel. Lapata Ladies, released in theatres on March 1st, collected 1.80 crore rupees net in India on its 3rd day. So far, the film has garnered 4 crore rupees at the domestic box office. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is treating its viewers to a special surprise this week with an extended episode. As anticipation for Season 4 reaches a fever pitch, the upcoming installment promises to deliver thrilling action. Makers have announced that a second prelude for Demon Slayer Season 4 will debut on March 9th in Japan. Taylor Swift's second outing of the Singapore Eras Tour launched her new tortured police department variant. Returning to her well-established concert ritual, she gifted her 22 hat to a fan during her performance at the concert. Singer Dua Lipa kicked off the Brit Awards on March 2nd with a performance of a new single training season. There were also performances from international artists including Canadian singer Tate McRae and Nigerian rapper and singer Rema. 55-year-old Australian singer Kylie Minogue, who was awarded the Brits Global Icon Award, ended the ceremony with a medley of her greatest hits, including Padam and All the Lovers. The fiery rumors may now rest in peace as Big Hit Music just confirmed BTSV aka Kim Tae-hyung's new digital single FRISV is set to unleash the new tuneful experience on March 15th this year. Phil Foden's heroics kept Manchester City's Premier League title challenge on track with a superb 3-1 home victory over Manchester United on Sunday. Burnley's slim hopes of staying up suffer another setback as they go down 2-0 to Bournemouth in Premier League encounter. Bayer Leverkusen moved 10 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga following victory at 10-man Cologne. Barcelona failed to capitalize on results in La Liga after a goalless draw at Athletic Bilbao, making them stay third in the table. New Zealand captain Tim Southee might be tempted to recall retired pacer Neil Wagner to the side for the second and final test against Australia following an injury to fast bowler Will O'Rourke. New Zealand and Chennai Super Kings opener Devon Conway has been ruled out of the first half of the upcoming IPL season after suffering a thumb injury. Sunrisers Hyderabad on Monday announced star Australian cricketer Pat Cummins as the new captain, replacing Adrian Markram, who had led the team in the 2023 season. 22-time major winner Rafael Nadal on Sunday said that he had an emotional reaction to his longtime rival and friend Roger Federer's exit from the game, as it left a huge impact on him. Devin Charlton of the Bahamas is again the sole owner of the women's indoor 60-meter hurdles world record after the 28-year-old blazed to a time of 7.65 seconds at the World Indoor Championships on Sunday. Takahiro Hatashi became the first Japanese golfer to win the New Zealand Open title, securing his maiden victory as a professional on Sunday. Alright, that's all we have in this edition of Express News. You stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.